Every day, somewhere in South Africa, someone opens another rejection email. Sometimes it isn't even a rejection. It's nothing, just silence. 1 application, 10 applications, 50 applications, 100 applications. Days become weeks, weeks become months, and eventually something begins to change. Not on their CV, inside their mind. They begin asking themselves a question that no job seeker should ever have to ask. Is there something wrong with me? Maybe you've asked yourself that question. Maybe you've finished Matric. Maybe you graduated. Maybe you've done everything people told you to do. Rewrite your CV, apply online, stay positive, keep trying. And yet, nothing changes. So today, we're not going to talk about interview tips. We're not going to talk about writing the perfect CV. Instead, we're going to investigate one question. Why does one person get hired while another doesn't? Because once you understand the answer, you stop guessing what employers want and start understanding how they think. Let's be honest, this is frustrating. You've probably looked at job adverts like these and thought, how am I supposed to get experience if nobody gives me a chance to get it? It's a fair question. In fact, it's probably the biggest frustration facing young South Africans looking for work today. And it's easy to reach one conclusion. Employers only care about experience. But here's where I want to challenge that idea. Experience matters. It absolutely matters. If 2 candidates are equally qualified in every other way, experience often gives one candidate an advantage. So this lesson isn't about pretending experience doesn't matter. It's about understanding what experience actually gives an employer. Because employers aren't collecting years, they're trying to reduce uncertainty. Imagine you own a small business. You've spent years building it. Every customer matters. Every employee matters. Now imagine you're about to hire someone you've never met before. You can't see the future. You don't know whether they'll become your best employee or leave after 3 months. You have to make a decision with incomplete information. So what do? You start looking for evidence that this person will probably succeed. Experience is one form of evidence, but it's not the only form, and that changes everything. Think about a detective solving a case. One fingerprint doesn't solve the mystery. One witness doesn't solve the mystery. One security camera doesn't solve the mystery. It's the combination of evidence that creates confidence. Hiring works the same way. Your experience is one clue. Your communication is another. Your attitude, another. Your references, another. Your projects, another. Your reliability, another. Employers aren't looking for certainty because certainty doesn't exist. They're trying to make the best prediction they can, and that's the first hidden rule of work. Employers don't make decisions based on certainty, they make decisions based on confidence. Once you understand that, you stop asking, how do I get more experience? And you start asking, how do I give employers more confidence? That single question changes everything. But if employers are really looking for confidence, then why do so many CVs fail before an interview even begins? The answer might surprise you. Let's do something that almost no job seeker ever gets to do. Let's sit in the recruiter's chair. It's Monday morning. Your company has advertised one junior position. Before lunch, almost 500 applications have arrived. Think about that for a second. 500 people, one opportunity. Here's the mistake most job seekers make. They imagine recruiters carefully reading every CV from top to bottom. The reality is very different. Recruiters are under pressure. Hiring managers are busy. Deadlines are tight. They aren't trying to reject people. They're trying to find reasons to interview the strongest candidates as quickly as possible. That changes everything. Because your CV isn't competing against perfection. It's competing against time. Imagine you're reviewing hundreds of applications. You don't have 20 minutes for each CV. You have seconds to decide one thing. Should I keep reading? That's the first interview, not the one in the boardroom. The one that happens silently between your CV and the person reading it. If your CV immediately shows relevant skills, clear achievements, and evidence that you can contribute, the recruiter slows down. If it doesn't, they move on. Not because you're incapable, because they have hundreds more waiting. Let's compare two candidates. Candidate A. Matric. No work experience, good communication skills, hardworking, fast learner. Now, Candidate B. Organised a community food drive with 20 volunteers, built spreadsheets to manage stock for a family business, completed a free Excel course and created a budgeting tool, tutored grade 10 mathematics every Saturday. Here's the surprising part. Neither candidate has had a formal full-time job. But which one feels easier to believe in? Exactly. The difference isn't employment, it's evidence. This is one of the biggest mistakes job seekers make. They fill their CV with claims. I'm hardworking, I'm reliable, I'm a team player. But employers can't hire claims, they hire evidence. Don't tell me you're organized, show me something you've organized. Don't tell me you're a leader, show me where you've led. Don't tell me you're a problem solver, show me a problem you've solved. The more evidence you provide, the less the employer has to imagine. And the less they have to imagine, the easier it becomes to trust you. So if employers are looking for evidence, what happens when you've never had a job? Does that mean you're out of options? Not even close, because the biggest mistake isn't having no experience. The biggest mistake is believing you can't create any. Imagine two graduates. Both finished university in the same month. Both have similar marks. Both want the same job. Graduate number 1 spends the next 6 months doing one thing: applying. Applying again. Waiting. Refreshing their inbox. Applying again. Graduate number 2 also applies for jobs, but while waiting, they decide to build experience instead of waiting for it. They walk into a small local business, a hair salon, a bakery, a car wash. They say, "I'd love to help improve your social media for the next month. I don't expect payment, I just want experience, and if I do a good job, a reference." Or maybe they volunteer to organize records at a community organization, or help a family member manage inventory, or build websites for local businesses, or tutor school learners on weekends. 6 months later, both graduates still have no formal corporate experience, but one now has something incredibly valuable: evidence, projects, references, stories, achievements, confidence. And here's the irony. Many people call this working for free, but that's not what it is. They're investing in future opportunities because every project makes the next employer's decision easier. Remember what we said earlier. Employers don't buy certainty, they buy confidence. And confidence grows every time you give them another reason to believe in you. When the interviewer asks, "What have you been doing since graduating?" one answer is, "I've been looking for work." The other is, "While applying, I realized I needed practical experience, so I helped a local business improve their online presence and volunteered to organize stock records for a community organization. Those projects taught me how to communicate with clients, manage deadlines, and solve real problems." Which conversation would you rather have? Exactly. The project didn't just build skills, it built a story, and stories are memorable. But creating experience is only half the battle. Because even the strongest candidate can struggle if they're searching in the wrong places. And that's where South Africa becomes different. By now, you've probably realized something. Getting hired isn't just about becoming a stronger candidate. It's also about putting yourself in the right places. And this is where thousands of South African job seekers unknowingly make one very expensive mistake. They put all of their hope into one website, usually LinkedIn, or one job board. Then they wonder why nothing happens. But imagine something for a moment. Imagine a company advertises a graduate position. Within 24 hours, 500 people apply. By the end of the week, that number might be over 1,000. Now ask yourself, what are your chances if you're standing in the biggest queue in the country? That's not a reason to stop applying, it's a reason to stop relying on one door. The strongest job seekers don't knock on one door, they knock on every door, because opportunities don't all live in the same place. Let's start with something many young South Africans have never heard about: SA Youth. If you're between 18 and 34, SA Youth connects young people with learning opportunities, work experience, and entry-level jobs. Many of these opportunities are specifically designed for people without years of experience. Then there are YES programs. The Youth Employment Service works with businesses across South Africa to create paid workplace opportunities for unemployed youth. Think about that for a moment. While thousands of people are competing for traditional jobs, there are programs specifically designed to help young people gain their first experience. Then there are learnerships. A learnership is different from a normal job. You work, you learn, you gain practical experience, and you earn a recognized qualification at the same time. For someone trying to break into the job market, that can become one of the strongest pieces of evidence on a future CV. And organizations like Harambee help connect work seekers with employers while supporting young people as they enter the workforce. These aren't shortcuts, they're pathways. And sometimes the best opportunity isn't the one everyone is fighting over, it's the one they never knew existed. Here's another belief that sounds logical but quietly destroys people's chances. The more jobs I apply for, the better my chances. At first, that seems obvious. If one application gives you one chance, surely 100 applications give you 100 chances. But here's the problem. When people start applying for everything, they stop applying well. The same CV, the same cover letter, the same generic application, over and over and over again. Imagine you're the employer. Which candidate feels more interested? The one who copied and pasted the same application to 50 companies? Or the one who clearly understands what your business does and explains exactly why they're a good fit? Quality beats quantity more often than people realize. Because employers don't want applicants, they want future employees. And those two things are very different. Let's imagine two candidates. Both have similar qualifications. Both have similar skills. Both interviewed well. One receives the offer, the other doesn't. Why? Sometimes the answer is surprisingly simple. One person was recommended by someone the employer already trusted. That's not always unfair. It's human. Think about your own life. If two electricians offered the same price, but one came recommended by a close friend, who would you choose? Exactly. Recommendations reduce uncertainty. That's why networking isn't really about collecting contacts. It's about building trust over time. Maybe it's a lecturer. Maybe it's a former teacher. Maybe it's your church leader. Maybe it's your football coach. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's someone you volunteered with. Every genuine relationship has the potential to become a bridge to an opportunity. Networking isn't asking strangers for jobs. It's making sure the people who already know your character know you're looking. Imagine you've finally done it. Your phone rang, you received the email, you have an interview. Now what? For many people, this is where fear takes over. What if they ask about my experience? What if I don't know the answer? What if they realize I'm not good enough? But remember something important. They've already seen your CV. They already know you don't have years of experience. If they invited you, it's because they already believe there's a possibility you could succeed. Now they're looking for confirmation, not perfection, confirmation. Can you communicate clearly? Can you learn? Can you take responsibility? Can you solve problems? Can you work with other people? Those are the questions hiding behind almost every interview question. When they ask, "Tell me about yourself," they aren't asking for your life story, they're asking, "Can you organize your thoughts?" When they ask, "Tell me about a challenge you faced," they're asking, "How do you respond when things don't go to plan?" When they ask, "Why should we hire you?" they're asking, "Why should we believe in you?" That's why interviews aren't memory tests. They're conversations designed to reduce uncertainty. The best candidates don't pretend to know everything. They demonstrate something far more valuable: honesty, preparation, curiosity, the willingness to learn. Because nobody expects an entry-level candidate to know everything, but they do expect them to be ready to grow. And that brings us back to where this lesson began. Let's go back to the person we met at the beginning. Remember them? The one opening another rejection email? The one wondering, is there something wrong with me? Now, after everything we've explored, I think we can finally answer that question. No, not necessarily. The South African job market is difficult. There are more job seekers than opportunities. There are talented people who remain unemployed for reasons completely outside their control. And that's an important truth to acknowledge. But there's another truth. Many job seekers spend months trying to solve the wrong problem. They believe the goal is simply to collect experience, when the real goal is to make it easier for an employer to believe in them. Think back to everything we've uncovered. Your CV isn't just a list of your past, it's evidence. Your interview isn't a memory test, it's a conversation about potential. Networking isn't about asking strangers for jobs, it's about building trust. Volunteering isn't working for free, it's creating proof. Projects aren't just something to keep you busy, they're evidence that you can create value. Suddenly, everything connects. Not because job hunting became easier, but because it finally started making sense. Here's something I hope you remember long after this video ends. Every experienced professional was once somebody asking for their first opportunity. Every manager, every CEO, every entrepreneur, every successful employee once faced a moment where someone had to take a chance on them. Your goal isn't to convince an employer that you're perfect. Your goal is to give them enough evidence to believe you're worth that chance. Because employers don't hire certainty. They can't. It doesn't exist. Every hiring decision is simply the best prediction they can make with the evidence in front of them. So don't ask yourself, how do I look like someone with 10 years of experience? Ask yourself, what evidence can I give an employer today that I didn't have yesterday? Because that's a question you can answer today, tomorrow, next week. Every single improvement makes the next application stronger than the last. Maybe your next application won't be the one. Maybe the one after that won't be either. And that's okay, because this lesson was never about promising you a job. It was about helping you understand the game you're playing. When you understand the rules, you make better decisions. Better decisions improve your chances, and improved chances create opportunities. Sometimes the only thing standing between rejection and an opportunity is evidence the employer hasn't seen yet. So build it. One skill, one project, one conversation, one application, one interview at a time. Maybe tomorrow you'll receive another rejection. Maybe you'll hear nothing at all. Or maybe the next email begins differently. We'd like to invite you for an interview. And when that day comes, I hope you remember this. Not because this video magically got you a job, but because it changed the way you approached finding one. Because employers aren't looking for perfect people, they're looking for enough evidence to believe in someone's future. Maybe that person is already you. They just haven't seen enough evidence yet. If you found this lesson valuable, welcome to Career Academy. Every week, we investigate the hidden psychology behind hiring, interviews, promotions, and career success. Not to give you shortcuts, but to help you understand how employers think so you can make better career decisions. If that sounds valuable to you, I'd love to have you with us. I'll see you in the next lesson.